Hello, everybody. It's your favorite voiceover artists again.
Yeah, right.
At least we think so. That's what we
our
call
own
ourselves
minds.
in our own minds.
Yeah. Legends in our own minds.
This is the week of, what is today? October 7th?
Yeah, day after
So,
Drew's birthday,
yeah,
our second oldest son.
This will be our Todd's tips for this week coming up on Monday or Tuesday. I will post them, and it's the original father-son voiceover podcast, Separate Numbers, where I haven't said this in a long time. Father and son talk about all things voiceover, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, little branding thing there I did.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Almost subliminal.
Wow.
Sort of. Actually, it was very right in the people's face, but
Right in
whatever.
their face.
So you want me to get to this?
I think it's time for your Todd's tips.
We're going to continue on with our foray. That's not a good word for it.
4A as in like the number 4 and an
4A. That's probably better than what I was using it for. That's not a good thing. But our journey. That's more what I meant to say. Our journey through the do's and don'ts of Todd's tips.
We've done a lot of those.
We have, and we're going to continue to do them.
We do a lot of Todd's do's and don'ts.
And here's the caveats that our audio-visual producer, Damon, puts in. So take a look at those. And those are just to remind you that I'm not telling you what to do. That's kind of the bottom line. I'm not telling you what to do. You can do it this way or you can do it another way. It's your business. Do your business your way. I do mine. But I think some of these things are worthy just to talk about and to think about. Today, I think I'm going to have, I am going to do a don't and a do.
Whoa.
All in the same thing, all wrapped up in the
Hitting
same
us
thing.
at both ends.
But what I was going to say, I think I'm going to get myself in hot water. I do think I'm going to get myself in hot water. And it might be with you who watch these. Maybe you'll say, I don't agree with that. I see things totally different. And that's possible. But here's what I don't do and what I do, all wrapped up into one. I don't focus on performance primarily. I do focus on business primarily. I don't focus on performance primarily. Don't jump off a cliff or hang me.
Please don't
in
jump
effigy.
off a cliff.
I don't focus on performing primarily. I do focus on business primarily. There's a conflict that rages within me, the creative side and the practical business side. And I'm not saying one is better than the other because they have to both be successful to be a VO talent. However, though both creative and business, the creative side of voiceover and the business side of voiceover are equally important, one must be thought of, in my humble opinion, as a priority over the other. Again, in my humble opinion, a VO talent who has an I want to make this business work no matter what mindset will outpace the person who places the creative side of things at the top of their priority list. Both are critically important, but one is more foundational than the other. Tons of talented people get outworked and outpaced by less talented people in VO because they focus primarily on the creative side of things rather than on the business side of things. They don't mind that. They don't mind the store of the business side of things enough. And so you have to do that. You have to mind the store of business carefully when you're a small business owner like we are. And you have to do both because unless you're just like ridiculously talented, and there are some people that are ridiculously talented, and they just automatically start making a ton of money, and they can hire a manager, and they can hire assistants, and they can hire everybody they want to do their business side of things and to market them and all sorts of things like that, then you're going to come up short. You just are. And so I know that it's a difficult thing to hear because that's one of the things we focus on a lot. I watch a lot of conferences or people that go to conferences. I watch people talk about their coaches, and almost all of them are creative performance coaches, which again isn't bad. I'm not telling you to not have creative creative coaches. But that's one of the things I like about Bill DOESN, who I have been following as kind of a VO mentor for a long time. He focused on business as a priority, not to the neglect of the creative side of things. And he certainly talks a lot about the creative side of things. But if you can't stay in business, it doesn't matter how creative you are. That's, I guess, my point. Unless you're ridiculously talented. And again, there are some people like that. And there are just some people that, can figure it out another way. But most of the people have to have a business first mindset. And so I don't know if you're probably a chip off the old blockhead. So you probably think that too.
Your people might not know this, but you're a fairly creative person. And so, for you to not get caught up in that, not that that's a bad thing that you're creative, but you've got lots of ideas for our podcast, lots of ideas for these things, and that's very helpful. I don't look at myself as very creative. So I guess for me, it might be better to maybe look at being a little bit more creative because it might help out me get into character or something like that, where for you, you're already creative. So it's like, well, I'm just going to focus on running a good business. And I am still, of course, following your journey in your footsteps, I guess I should say. And so we're finding out things that a lot of the things that were true for you are being true for me as I go through it. So anyway.
Yep. So primarily,
Yep.
Well, I agree with you. I agree wholeheartedly with you. And a lot of my creativity, in all honesty, is hiring people that either things that I don't want to do that I know need to be done, or maybe are better. Like, for instance, my wife is a better nuts and bolts person than I am. I like the bigger picture. She likes to get down in it.
Details.
And so editing, taking care of financing and invoicing, she's just the perfect match for my weakness or my disdain or not liking to do that. So a lot of my creativity isn't even in the booth so much. It's in how can I make my business better? And so, that's, I think, to be honest with you, if I ever do coaching, that's the coaching that I'm going to do, is more of a lifestyle, business, direction type thing, not so much the directing people. I can do that, I think, but I think I'm better at being creative with helping people with their journey through voiceover. That's just my thoughts. So anyway, there it is. I don't focus primarily on performance. I focus primarily as a foundation, as a starting point on business.
Thank you for that. If you're interested in a little voiceover themed mug or shirt or mouse pad or you name it, go on over to vomerch.com.
Our buddy Mike Hathcote.
Check out our buddy Mike Hathcote. He's got some good stuff over there. So maybe you want to add to your voiceover related stuff. Maybe you don't like voiceover at all. That's your choice.
Oh, these are handsome. And he's got some other very nice things on there too.
He sure does.
Or if you want to pretend like you're in voiceover, that might be something.
That would be kind of fun. All right, thank you. Next up, we'll have our numbers. Hey, did you like that video? Here's some more over here. Maybe you want to subscribe over here.